Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Step by Step with a Casual Cody. This is the brief vlog type thing I do where I talk about fighting games and my experience with Street Fighter V. I currently main Cody and have fond childhood memories of watching Step by Step on Friday nights, which featured a laid-back kickboxing surfer himbo who was also named Cody, hence the name of this segment. So today I want to talk a little bit about my experiences ranking up on a new account from Rookie to Gold in Street Fighter V. You see, I have a Gold PS4 account, but I recently purchased Street Fighter for PC because I wanted mod support, and I heard that the connection was better. Now, I use an Ethernet cable for my PS4 and strongly encourage all listeners to do the exact same because Wi-Fi is very unreliable. When playing online on PS4, I noticed that there would be some very slight frame drops, and having dropped frames meant reading what my opponent was doing feel much more like a guessing game than it already does in Street Fighter V. So if there's missed animations in my opponent's actions, then reacting to what they're doing is a lot harder. For example, one thing I love doing, especially early in a match, because a lot of Ryu players do this, and I always pronounce it Ryu. I know it Ryu or Ru, but Ryu, that's what I grew up saying, and I play Street Fighter to, for the nostalgia. So anyway, Ryu, a lot of Ryu players, especially those gold and below, will start a match doing a Hadouken. And I look for that motion early on, because they think they got the space. So as soon as I see that motion start, I know I could use Cody's ruffian kick to stuff it, or if I'm slightly late on it, actually trade with it. But yeah, if I don't see those animations, then it's very hard for me to react and play well. So after getting on PC, is the connection that much better? Well, for some weird reason, when I first got the game, playing online was really laggy, like horribly so. So much so that I felt like I actually lost money. I felt a little ripped off, actually. But for some reason, as I played it more, the connection issues started to go away. I'm not sure if that was because the people that were playing on ranked rookie level had more Wi-Fi unreliable connections. I have no idea what was going on. It might have been something on my end too. NVIDIA recently wanted to do an update, and that happened, and maybe that was it, because since then it's been working well. Textures look fine, but yeah, when I first got the game it was just odd, but now it's been fine. Been playing it on PC for about 2 months now. Hardly any connection issues at all. But with the mod support, I really feel like I made the smart choice here getting it for PC. Granted, it's more money, and yeah, I did just buy the game twice, but it was on sale. But you know what, it's all good. And playing it again on PC and starting from rookie to gold again was very eye-opening. I discovered a few things. So, you see, having it on PC, I had to make a brand new account for Street Fighter Online. So I figured just name myself, exactly what I did on PS4, Street Fighter 1 arcade guy, but put PC at the end of it to make it simple. And then I got right into ranked, and oh boy, I wish I was recording some of those earlier matches, because some of them are just comedy gold. Now, I know that rookie players in ranked, along with those that are bronze, for the most part, are players that are still learning. And I'm not ripping on them. That's not who I'm saying the comedy gold came from. No. I'm talking about the people I saw who were, rookie ranked or bronze ranked, getting so serious about the game at that level that they were like teabagging. Even when they were losing, still felt the need to teabag. Or the amount of rage quitting, actually. Rage quitting was happening really often. Now, I understand that even though I'd be working up my character to get the gold, I'm going to be better than most rookie players. So when I'd be playing, I would purposely hold back to at least try to make it competitive. I was doing some of those little things I usually do, like if I dizzy my opponent, not attacking them, letting them recover. Sometimes I'd even give them the second round as well too. But I was trying to be sportsmanlike. But yeah, the amount of salt I saw at that low level, the casuals of the casuals, I was like, wow, that's really interesting. And especially for newer players, how can you expect to learn and get better at this game or anything in life really if you can't take your losses? You know what I mean? Now, you see, once I get to silver, right around there, things got even weirder. Sure, in the silver spectrum, from silver to super silver to even ultra silver, you got players that are still learning the game and getting decent with fundamentals. But among the silvers, you got, rage quitters, and yeah, you'll still see them. You also have the occasionally very bizarre player as well. And you see, this is just one of the ones I ran into here. This is not the first time I've seen players acting like this before, and I don't understand what they're doing. I don't think it's a bot, because I've encountered bots before in rookie and I think bronze, and a bot will act in a very predictable pattern again and again and again. They won't do this where they're just hitting one button again and again and again. And I have no idea what is going on. Again, weirdness. It's an absolute jungle and in Silver. And it being a jungle means there are predators out there. There are what I like to call silver sharks. Players that are definitely better than their rank, and you start to see them more in Silver and on up. And, it's weird. A silver shark, as I call him, is someone who avoids ranked play and just keeps on feeding on us guppies in the lower levels. So after getting gold, I actually encountered one such silver shark that really challenged me, and I really have to say they are probably the hardest opponent I've ever encountered online. After wrecking me with their Balrog in casual matches, they had me play them a few times in a lobby, and I was hopeful. I was like, okay, we're gonna do lobby, and I might get some wins. And no, it was brutal. However, I kept playing, and I took my losses, and I tried learning. I was grateful that they were doing this and lobbying with me, even though they were clearly the better player. But it's a learning experience. Even now, watching the footage of our games, I'm seeing how they just keep getting so much off of me after I'm getting knocked down. And when I'm getting knocked down, I'm stupidly pressing buttons to try and recover with something. And at this point, I'm basically panicking. Like, I know you don't always want to press buttons when you're knocked down. Sometimes it's better just to block and take the throw. I know all that. I knew all that going into this too. But the thing is, and the thing that separates, scrub players from good players from great players from, excellent players and on up, is the difference between knowing and execution. How much you know, and then how much you can execute, right? You can know this game inside and out. You can know all the characters inside and out. You can know all the frame data inside and out. But if you can't consistently execute it, you're not going to be getting those wins. So anyway, looking back, it was definitely interesting. But this Silver Shark, this character, this player there, they had a ridiculous 96 to 97% win-loss record overall. And that is absolutely insane in this game. Most players have a win-loss record of around like 30, 40, 50%, around there. Those that have very, very high win-loss records are very rare, and usually it's a sign, if you have a high win-loss record, that it's time for you to rank up. So this gets into the next portion of my little rant here. Why are players like this so reluctant to do ranked matches and get their rank up? This person easily could. They're way better than any silver that I've played. They're definitely better than gold players I've played. I've played ultra gold players that were not nearly as good as this individual. So what is it? Why is this person not in ranked and getting that rank up? They easily could. Well, I think it's really because the online ranked experience in Street Fighter V is absolutely horrible. It's really bad now, and I've heard it actually used to be worse before I even got the game. Now, I know I'm preaching to the choir here with people that played this game, but this is more for newer players to the game, I guess, or ones that don't really know. But as I've shown, ranks can't always be trusted as an accurate indicator of skill in this game. How points work make it so there's little incentive to actually play back sets. In Street Fighter V online matches, players play a set where the player who wins twice, as in 2 matches, wins the set. But points make it very weird. So if you and an equally ranked player are playing online in ranked play, and you win the first round, or the first match actually, you get 50 points, and they lose 50 points. At that point, you have a choice to continue the set. You have a choice to rematch. And it's considered good sportsmanship, to usually rematch, right? So you rematch. But if you rematch and you lose the 50 points that you just won, and they just won back their 50. And it just feels like you're not really progressing. And then you do the third match. At least you hope that the opponent chooses to rematch you. And if you win the third match, you get back the 50, but they're out 50. So going back to where you were at the beginning of the set, you just gained 50 points off of 3 matches, and your opponent, even though they won a match, loses 50. They're going backwards. And that does not feel good at all. And it gets even worse if you're paired up with a player that's lower ranked than you. They get more points for beating you, but you get lower points for beating them. And sometimes it gets really weird with the math, and there will be cases too where you'll run into a player that's lower ranked. They're still a good player. They're good enough to challenge you. But because they beat you once and you beat them twice, you actually end up losing out. Actually, you would have gotten more points if you just cut and run, if you just beat them that first time and then didn't replay the set. And that just feels wrong, right? So you could do casual instead, but casual play isn't nearly as fun as it could be in Street Fighter V. You see, when I think of something called casual, I think of how things were like back in the day. That was real casual play. You'd be at an arcade and someone would play you in Street Fighter 2. There was no ranking. You didn't stop to ask the person, hey, how good are you? And they showed you a rank card or something. Nothing like that. No, you just played, and the person you're playing against could be, around your level. They could be someone who's really, really good, or it could be a total scrub. But either way, it would be fun, and especially if you got a close match, because that was never guaranteed. It felt good, as opposed to Street Fighter 5, where more often than not, you will get a match that is competitive. I'm not going to say it's good, but competitive. So this kind of gets into the nuts and bolts of gameplay as well in Street Fighter 5, but Street Fighter 5 has a way for really punishing you really hard off of one mistake. So when you're paired up with an opponent, sometimes you'll be making the same mistake again and again. You get punished, you'll lose really quickly, and just when you start figuring them out, the set ends. That happens a lot. That's very common actually, to lose the first match in a set. You start figuring out your opponent, and you kind of are getting a sense for each other, but by the time you get a sense for each other, it's over. So that's a casual play. I guess lobbies are a little different, but lobbies are pretty janky as well too. Finding a lobby that has a good connection around your rank as well can be hard. And the thing is too about casual play is that it locks you into playing, people that are around your rank. So if you want to learn a new character and practice that new character online in casual play, you'll be playing against people that are ranked with your player rank, even if you've gotten that rank with your main. So for example, I'm a gold ranked player. I got there playing Cody. That's my main. I know Cody, the best out of the cast. My secondary character is probably Poison at this point, but if I take Poison online, she gets, wrecked. And I want to take her online so I can practice her against live competition. But the thing is, it pairs me up with players that are of equal skill to me, and when you're paired up against players that are good or harder, it's harder to learn from your mistakes. There's very little room for error, and very little room for experimentation as well too. I remember too, one time I took my Poison online and got wrecked and got teabagged by someone playing their main. I don't remember the character, but I do remember, I think it was a Zeku actually, but I got teabagged, and I felt so salty about that. I was like, how the hell are you teabagging me, a level 5 Poison, with your level 50 Zeku or whatever? So what I did was I stayed online for the next hour in casual, waiting for that player to pop up again, and eventually they did, and I was on my Cody this time. And I don't teabag unless it's warranted, but there it was warranted, and of course I did it, and I destroyed this guy. But the thing is, afterwards I didn't feel good. I still felt bitter actually, and that's how this game makes you feel. It makes you feel pretty bitter and salty at times. So my advice for people is to, if they're thinking about doing ranked play, do it slowly. Don't try to overexert yourself and get to an area where you're barely winning at all in casual ranked play. If you do, it'll be completely unable to learn new characters or practice new characters online. I shouldn't say completely unable, but it'll be a lot harder to. Going back to my example of that underranked silver player, they had a roster of most of their characters of around 50 or higher, level 50 or higher, meaning that they've played a ton with these characters. So this player knows the roster really, really well, and they likely learned the roster by keeping their rank really low, getting paired up with silver players, and trying new things with all the different characters against silver players. And when you're paired up with lower ranked players, the margin of error is a bit greater. You can experiment with things, you can try new things, and if you're punished, it won't be your entire life bar, right? So I hope Street Fighter 6 fixes the horrible ranking system. Where I am right now in Street Fighter 5, I'm win-losing most matches 2-1, and that's fair. I think I'm going to keep it there. I could probably grind for a higher rank in gold, but I probably don't want to because I'm at a comfortable place with wins and losses right now in casual play. Meanwhile, Dan is on the horizon. Dan is coming out in December, and I'm interested to see how he's handled. I really hope he's toned down a bit in terms of his goofiness from Street Fighter 4. I thought he hammed it up a little too much in Street Fighter 4, and it seems like we're going to get a slightly more serious Dan in 5, which I appreciate. I'm also discovering as well that I'm actually better with a fight stick with certain characters, and with others I'm better with a controller. And that's something that never happens with me. Usually when I play a fighting game, it's one or the other. But here it's I don't know what it is. I'm not sure if anyone out there is the same as me with this regard, but for example, if I'm playing Cammy and other characters that use a lot of motion inputs and are very mobile, I feel more comfortable using a fight stick. I feel, I can get off combos and I could do things, setups a lot easier with the fight stick, and movements a lot more fluid as well too. But if I'm playing someone like Guile or Poison, I feel more comfortable using a controller actually, and I don't know, that's just how it is. With Cody, my main, I can do either one actually. I prefer the pad, but doing combos off his Zonk Knuckle feels better on a fight stick. But that's it. It's overall, everything else just feels better on a controller with Cody. So it's a very weird thing. But anyway, yeah, that's all I really have to say about it. Let me know again in the comments if you're one of those players that switches control types like I am. Let me know if you run into some weird things online before. And yeah, until next time, this is JagTagger93 signing out. You have a good one.